Friday night in the Peg. The Bombers have had their break, rested and ready to play again, hosting one of the teams that beat them earlier this season. Yes, the Tiger Cats have come to town, both with a chance to climb the standings. It is coming up on Friday Night Football tonight.
Remind Mazzoli makes his 27th career start. That's not many. He's 13-13 in the 26 thus far. He's a bit of a road warrior, guys. He's 10-5 on the road.
Well, that was the quarterback of the offense. Let's talk about the quarterback of the defense. Larry Dean, the dean of the defense, who sits fifth in the league in tackles with 39. He's on pace for his first 100-yard tackle season. Valdosta State.
Where? Matty Nichols gonna get a chance to go downfield a lot tonight. Look for Darvin Adams. A lot of man coverage, more than any other team in the league. The Ticats play man-to-man coverage.
They're not passing. Might be running with this guy. The CFL's rushing leader, Andrew Harris, on pace for over 1,600 yards this season on the ground. Also leads the CFL in touchdowns with 7. Certainly the focal point for the highest scoring team in the Canadian Football League. As we continue Week 9 with some Friday Night Football from the Peg. And welcome to it. Rod Smith along with David Sanchez, Matt Dunnigan, and yes, Milton Eugene Stiegel with us tonight as well. Second meeting of the season between the Ticats and Winnipeg, as mentioned. Now, Matt Nichols was injured, didn't play back in Week 3 when Hamilton won that game at Tim Hortons Field, 31-17. I need more talking points, guys.
Yes.
Help me out, Chess.
Well, Delvin Breaux's out tonight. Chance for Darvin Adams to have a huge game. Carryall Brooks will slide over. He was penciled in as the Sam linebacker in the training camp, got hurt. We'll see how he lines up against Darvin today.
Right, you talk about Andrew Harris off the top. He's 94 yards from 7,000, becoming the 14th player to CFL history to go over 7,000.
What about Hamilton? They have the #1 passing attack in the CFL, but over the last 4 games, the Bombers have only given up 1 passing touchdown.
Ooh, and that passing attack, a lot from Jalen Saunders. Watch the way he changes pace when he runs routes. Yeah. That's why he's so tough to deal with.
Hot, too, Davis. Comes in hot. Last 2 games, over 150 yards, 154 and 150.
Bombers' #1 rushing attack. Hamilton Tiger Cats last in rushing defense. Something has to give there.
We're playing a special game here tonight. I got something for you. Jerry Blandville likes his matchups every week. Why I tell you that?
Why?
Because they're playing man coverage every week, so you must like his matchups.
Think about it. He's coaching some kids that are young enough to be his grandkids.
No
That's
question.
pretty cool.
Hey, Hamilton's first in the league at converting 2nd and 7+. First at 44% conversion rate.
I got something for you. When the Winnipeg Blue Bombers score, if and when they score, will we see the Jamarcus jump or the Hardwick hop? What do you think we're going to see, Rod? I know you like that.
Dembski, the Stairmaster. But I'm old school. I like the Hardwick hop. I mean, that's got to be the way it goes.
Slide motion. Watch for this one more time. Darvin Adams comes down, bumps down into the slot. Weston Dressler bumps outside. That's when he goes. That's when Darvin Adams double moves and goes deep.
Dressler's got 119 straight. He's caught a pass in 119 straight games.
Opportunity for Winnipeg. With Edmonton losing last night, they can tie him with a win tonight at 5-3. Kickoff coming up.
All day, let's go.
You about to lose me. I'm always winning, so them people always choose me. Like Sean Stone, hopped out that phone, hopped out that phone. I'm always scoring.
Patrick Bennett of Winnipeg. You can win groceries for a year if a kickoff's returned for a touchdown in this game, thanks to Safeway Sobeys' $1 million touchdown to win promotion. And if a second kickoff is returned all the way, you could also win $1 million. Good luck, Patrick. Week 9 continues in Winnipeg with Rod Black and Dwayne Ford.
Thank you, Rod. Hello, Canada. Welcome to the barbecue pit. It is smoking hot. The heat wave rides into Winnipeg. Plus 30-degree temperatures. Water is a premium tonight. You have to be hydrated. We might see some cramping. We could have a great football game here.
Absolutely, and that's for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It all keys on their run game. And the main man in that is Andrew Harris, the Canadian Football League's rushing leader. He's been over 100 yards in 3 games already this season. And the man leading the group looking to shut him down, the Hamilton Tiger Cats' top tackler, middle linebacker, Larry Dean.
Just turned 30 years old. Happy birthday to him. June Jones, 9-8 since taking over as the Hamilton Tiger Cat coach, and of course coming off a decisive win last week against Johnny Manziel and the Montreal Alouettes. Biggest win of the year. Mike O'Shea, his career record, 1 game under 500. His team, though, 4-3, coming off 2 straight wins against the Toronto Argonauts and also a bye week. Mike O'Shea said, hey, whether it's rust or rest, he'll take the rest. His team is fired up tonight. Bombers won the toss, elect to take the football right away. Lirim Hajrullahu kicks it off. We're underway here tonight in a smoker in the peg. Nick Dembski, a little shake near the 20-yard line and cuts back up near the 28. Pretty good return for the Winnipeg-born Blue Bomber. And here is Matt Nichols. Again, started the season on the injured list, but he's been outstanding since coming back.
Yeah, Matt Nichols missed the first 3 games of this 2018 season. A little bit of a slow start for him upon his return, but sort of rounding into mid-season form right on time.
Great subplots we'll watch tonight. This explosive Winnipeg offense. They lead the CFL in a lot of categories, particularly on the ground, against a Hamilton defense that has been susceptible a little bit on the ground. And already we've got an injury on the first play, so they'll wait this out. Make sure that the Hamilton Tiger Cat special teamer comes off the field.
Well, there you see the numbers in the matchup, and the big thing you need to know is you look at the Winnipeg rushing offense in the left-hand column, the Hamilton rushing defense in the right-hand column. A whole lot of first versus last, very versatile Winnipeg rushing attack. It's not just about Andrew Harris. You'll see receivers, particularly Nick Dembski, carry the ball. You also see Weston Dressler. They can attack every gap with a lot of different weapons. So it's going to be up to that Hamilton Tiger Cat defense, as mentioned, led by guys in the middle, Larry Dean, Ted Laurent up on that defensive line to shut things down.
Nikita Whitlock was hurt on that return. He's back on the sideline. Here's a hit screen right away to Dembski, coming off a monster effort a couple of weeks ago against the Argos. And this offense, as we talked about, very explosive, big play team, great hands.
Yeah, and their leading receiver, a guy who's not talked about a whole lot, Darvin Adams, usually lines up to the boundary side of the field. He may have some opportunities tonight that he might not normally see against Hamilton. We'll talk more about that. Patty Neufeld staying healthy and having a terrific year on that Blue Bomber offensive line.
2nd down and 6. Nichols goes to his right, and a very quick 2 and out for this Bomber offense, and that will bring out Justin Medlock, and they'll kick it to the Cats. Our referee tonight is Kim Murphy. He's wearing the camera. We'll get some great angles. And returning for the Hamilton Tiger Cats on this kick. This is like throwback night here. Chris Williams.
Yeah, we saw with Frankie Williams out of the lineup. Brandon Banks handled many of the returns last week. Hadn't seen Chris Williams in this role since his return to Hamilton.
Guy who normally did it and did it so well with the Cats. Downfield quickly, though, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Courtney Stephen, one of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Chandler Fenner of the Blue Bombers makes that tackle downfield very quickly, and Fenner back in the lineup for Winnipeg. So Jeremiah Masoli goes to work right away.
Yeah, Masoli has seen his ups and downs this year, but consistently productive. Only once has he been held under 300 yards passing. Obviously would like to improve that touchdown to interception ratio going forward, though.
From the 35-yard line, 1st and 10 for Masoli. 2nd in the CFL in passing. Read option right away, and he's throwing right away, and making the catch right away is Jalen Saunders. He's had an outstanding couple of weeks.
Well, Jalen Saunders is going to use that waggle to hit the line running. You'll see the great play action from Jeremiah Masoli. Frees the defense on the inside, allows him to break contain. Jalen Saunders, the half step on Marcus Sales in coverage, gets open working to the sideline.
Back-to-back 150-yard receiving games for number 13 Saunders. Former Oklahoma Sooner to Winnipeg territory. Good protection. Masoli steps up. Catch is made up near the 45. Mike Jones brought down by Adam Bighill.
Well, Mike Jones, part of that receiving core that includes Brandon Banks, came into this week tied for the league lead with 5 games of 100+ receiving yards, tied with Edmonton's Duke Williams in that department. Avery Jordan, once again, the rookie, gets the start at left tackle. He took over there with the trade of Tony Washington to Montreal, little brother of basketball star DeAndre Jordan.
Dallas Maverick now. Masoli again, stepping up once more, going down the rail. It's caught. Brandon Banks makes a Willie Mays catch down that far sideline, and it's immediately into the red zone inside the 10-yard line on a 37-yard bomb.
Well, Brandon Banks, a lone receiver to that side of the field. You think about how things started when the Ticats shifted to the run and shoot offense in the second half of last season. So often early in games, this is what we saw, the big strike down the sideline to Brandon Banks to get things going.
Basket catch over the shoulder. This is the way the Cats started last week in Montreal. Banks was a big part of it. Scored on the first series. Alex Green, first touch. Swallowed up at the line of scrimmage.
Well, that swarming Blue Bomber defense, one of the underrated members in the middle of that defensive line. Drake Nevis, former Hamilton Tiger Cat defensive tackle. Javon Santos Knox, with 4 sacks already this season, is playing the will linebacker spot alongside Adam Bighill. Kevin Fogg, in addition to his work in the return game, has found a full-time starting job in that Blue Bomber secondary and leads the way with 3 interceptions.
Masoli from the gun. Second down, now he has to run. Being pursued, he throws against the grain. Banks makes the catch, and he is down near the 1-yard line. So now it will be 3rd and goal as Jeremiah Masoli improv a little bit here and is able to find Banks.
Yeah, they had 3 receivers into the boundary, just 2 to the field. Things got covered up quickly on that short side, but Banks did a nice job getting into his quarterback's line of vision on the scramble. And terrific effort to make the defenders miss and overrun them. Give the Ticats a chance to go for it here on 3rd down.
3rd down and goal. Masoli is going to operate from shotgun here. Green in the backfield. They'll hand it to him, and he scores the touchdown. Just like last week in Montreal, the Cats strike quick. First series, drive the field, big play to Banks, couple of big plays to Banks, and Alex Green finishes it off.
Here you'll see the work up front as the Ticats go into double tight. Back up O-lineman Mathieu Girard in at that right tight end spot, helping clear the way for Alex Green.
Green, who had a pair of touchdowns, and just coming back to this Hamilton lineup, began the season on the injured list. 6 plays, 75 yards, ate up a lot of the clock too.
Yeah, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Masoli a perfect 4 for 4 on that drive.
Former Blue Bomber Lirim Hajrullahu with the point after. Masoli looking good. Money in the banks. Brandon does it again. Now the Bombers have to answer. Down 7 early in Winnipeg. San is brought to you by the Nissan Titan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. In the River City tonight, the Manitoba Capital. And Alex Green staying hot after last weekend. His Cats, dominant win over the Alouettes last week. Started just like that. Dembski gathers near his 5. Nice cut here. Nick Dembski with the return. High steps over 1, still on his feet. It looks like he stepped out of bounds. What a return for Dembski. Great starting point here. Cats are celebrating the touchdown. The Bombers have good field position on Friday Night Football. At Investors Group Field, nice return by Nick Dembski, handling the kick returns for the first time this season. That was a 56-yarder. Bombers will start in Hamilton territory inside the 50-yard line.
And you know, head coach Mike O'Shea, a former special teams coordinator in this league, loves to see his special forces unit respond the way they did to a great start by the Tiger Cats.
Bomber offense starting tonight with a 2-and-out. Trying to get some traction here. 9.5 to go opening quarter on Friday night football. First touch for Andrew Harris, the CFL rushing leader. Bashes and crashes for almost 9 yards.
The Winnipeg ground game will get it going right off the bat, looking to shut them down. Anchor on that defensive line, big Ted Laurent from his position on the nose. We mentioned Larry Dean, the Ticats leading tackler and middle linebacker. He'll be keyed in on Andrew Harris tonight. Delvin Breaux, the shutdown boundary corner for the Ticats, got nicked in practice this week. He's out. Mariel Cooper makes the start in his place.
Chris Straveller stood up and brought down by the Dean of the Hamilton D. Larry Dean up and jawing.
Well, no shortage of emotion and remarks exchanged between the Hamilton defense and Chris Straveller, now the backup quarterback, by the guy who started, of course, the last time these two teams met at Tim Hortons Field early in the season.
That was back in week 3, and Hamilton won that game 31-17. Straveller did get the first down here. So despite the chirping that was going on, Matt Nichols returns behind center this time on 1st and 10. Harris up the middle. Look out here, Andrew Harris down inside the 10. 30-yard romp for the Winnipegger.
Well, watch for the trap block coming from the left guard. Pat Neufeld is going to come over and kick out, and you're going to see that lane open up right across the middle. Washes the nose out of the way, and how's that for an opening? Rod Black, you could have run through that one.
Don't think so, but we know Andrew Harris can. Great conversation with him yesterday about the bye week and how this offense is coming together. Harris is in the backfield. Nichols changes the play up here, and that could have been picked off. Harris wasn't looking. A little dump pass down to 33. Opportunity tonight to reach 7,000 in what has become an already glorious career.
Doing wonders for the average. Tonight, 2 carries, 39 yards right out of the gate for Andrew Harris here tonight.
55 yards away. This time stays into block. Nichols on a end zone shot to Dressler, touchdown. And yes, Weston Dressler's joining the Stair group. That has become a favorite hotspot in Winnipeg. That north end zone, and those stairs, Dressler climbing it. Nichols lays it in.
Yeah, Dressler working to the post on that play, in behind coverage. Nice touch from Matt Nichols as he's getting close to that, the back of the end zone, but drops it in there beautifully to hit Dressler in stride.
Weston Dressler now 2 catches away from becoming the CFL's 13th player to 700, his 58th career touchdown. And now 120 games straight with at least a catch. Medlock buries it. We're tied at 7. Big return by Nick Dembski. Big run by Andrew Harris. Big catch by one of the smallest guys on the field with the best hands.
Well, keep an eye here on the target Weston Dressler, and the bind that Richard Leonard, the halfback, gets put in. Right there is Leonard. He sees two guys looking like they're going to the outside. Dressler breaks back inside. Leonard can't get inside to help out. He's got the corner. Jamal Roll beaten to the post for the touchdown.
11th season, the former Saskatchewan Rough Rider. Weston Dressler just keeps catching footballs, finding end zones. Hamilton's turn now.
Here's the down low look. Keep an eye on Leonard. Number 4 is going to appear right on the left side of your screen. And the quick turn trying to recover, but too late. As he realizes Weston Dressler's turning it back in.
That's just not Nick Dembski's area anymore. We've got a few Stairmasters now. It's a good ticket to buy if you're a fan. Get up close and personal, get some nice selfies down there. With Jean Thomas. Arlington fumble here. Ball's loose. It could be Winnipeg's. It is Hamilton, says Masoli. It's Winnipeg, says the ref cam.
What a play by Adam Bighill, middle linebacker. See Bighill step up. Perfect tackle, put his shoulder pad right on that ball to pop it loose. Bit of a hot potato.
Especially tonight. And the first turnover of this ball game. 6 minutes to go, first quarter.
We're just getting started. Keep that TV on.
Winnipeg team that's put up 71 points off of turnovers. That's second in the CFL to the Stampeders. The team that's had a tough time preventing points off of turnovers. Second last, the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Nichols looking to make them pay. Looking end zone again, and Dressler almost made a circus grab.
Jamal Roll in his first year in the Canadian Football League is getting to know Weston Dressler, number 7, in a hurry. Found himself chasing Dressler on the touchdown, and once again here, the out and up. Pretty good position from Roll on that one. He looked like he sort of lost his balance because he had his eyes on the receiver, knew the ball was coming, but just seemed to stumble for a second there as he had his back turned. Jamal Roll's been a nice find for the Tiger Cats here. In 2018, 2 picks already on the season for the young corner.
Bombers had to hurry to get this off, and Matt Nichols is brought down by Larry Dean. There's a penalty flag, and it looked like Dean may have had that hand a little close to Nichols' grill.
Yeah, Dean knew it right away. You could see as he pulled for a second.
Major foul, face mask. Hamilton, number 11. We'll go half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down. Winnipeg.
So, Kim Murphy, show us what you saw.
That's right. Guy responsible for watching the pocket, protecting the quarterback, our referee, Kim Murphy. Larry Dean trying to grab jersey, catches the face mask instead. Absolutely no argument there. This will be first down, but the 13-yard line now for Winnipeg.
15-yard penalty, costly one for a team that has been penalized a lot. June Jones last week talked about that before the Montreal game, cleaning things up, which they did. Harris deep in the backfield, takes the rock, draws a crowd. They can get it down to the 3 and reset and go first and goal, but Nichols eyeing end zone here.
Blue Bombers in their run game have done a great job attacking right up the middle. See their offensive coordinator and the architect of this offense, Paul LaPolice. You know, again, the challenge becomes when you start seeing those receivers moving around in motion, you don't know where the ball is coming.
Winnipeg may have moved. Hamilton pointing that way. Marcus Hardrick looked like he may have moved, but let's see what Kim Murphy has to say. Nyamba on the other side also looked like he may have
offside.
Jumped.
Hamilton, number 1.
It was
half the distance to the goal. First down, Winnipeg.
Penalties again. First and goal now, Winnipeg.
Keep an eye on Don Unumba, the linebacker coming from depth, number 1. He steps up. He's trying to time up that blitz as he sees the motion of Darvin Adams. He's across the line first, and thus the man who is flagged.
Chris Strevler comes in. Has 4 rushing touchdowns this season. He'll go in shotgun. Some motion behind him. Harris will score. Touchdown. Pay dirt again for the Blue Bombers. And some hostility in that end zone and in the trenches. Winnipeg does make Hamilton pay for that turnover.
And in a hurry, things getting physical at the line of scrimmage. Winnipeg Blue Bombers offensive line taking pride in that element of its game.
Eighth touchdown of the season for Andrew Harris as he breaks the plane.
And you can see he's clearly across the plane. Just enough of a head of steam to force Larry Dean to take a half step back on that tackle. That was enough to get Harris across the line.
Costly turnover. Justin Medlock looking to make it 7 points off that turnover. 27 for 27 on the season from the 32-yard line on the point afters. No team kicks the single more than this team because number 9 does that. Different story now for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Up 7, now down 7, and Andrew Harris makes it 14-7 Winnipeg. There's the CFL rushing leader, Andrew Harris. Seems like a perennial candidate for most outstanding Canadian, maybe even be most outstanding player in the minds of a lot of people.
Yeah, tremendous start to the season for him, as you see a lead of over 150 yards in that rushing race. Here's a look at the work of Andrew Harris, and of course the big boys up front through the early going here tonight. And that Tiger Cat defense flattened out and spread out. Little help at the second level. We've seen a couple of big runs for number 33 here in the first quarter.
Earlier this week, Simone Lawrence and Jamal Westerman were talking about how to stop Andrew Harris. Jamal Westerman said, well, maybe the only way to stop is the uniform police, because when he doesn't like it when it's hot, he rolls those pants up so high. You see those calves are always showing. Right now, the Bombers out in front thanks to those 7 points off that turnover. Sean Thomas Erlington. Brendan Morgan makes the tackle. Friday night lights are on now. It's been a really hot one in Winnipeg today and will be through the weekend. Sizzler tonight. Play is hot as well. Masoli, perfect so far. Only blemish is that fumble by Alex Green. Puts it right back in the gut of Green. Runs into a blue and gold wall. Hangs on to the football, sets up a throwing down here. Biggie right in there, Adam Bighill.
Yeah, keep an eye. Number 4 tucked in right behind that goal post. Stepping up, we already saw him with the forced fumble in the last series that led to the Bombers score.
5-time All-Star, what an off-season get, really just before the season. We're Lion, now a Bomber. Here's the blitz, there's the ball. Out near that first down marker. Chris Williams slips and slides up near the 47-yard line. A 19-yard gain. 5 for 5 now, Masoli.
Here you'll have a look. The flight line of that football. Masoli stepping back, throwing it on time. Nice move by Williams to get off the spot. Avoid that defender as he catches the rock. Turn it up for that first down.
4-time All-Star in the CFL. Masoli hanging in, but look out! Chucks it away at the last moment. Avoids the sack. Jake Thomas had him wrapped up.
A bit of a miracle escape here for Masoli. You know, the irony in their formation, only the tight end who stays in to block is the only receiver on that left side of the field. All his receivers are out to the right. But as Masoli gets in a little bit of trouble here with Jake Thomas.
They did call it a sack. So it's going to be second and long. 19 yards to go. They run the hitch here to Brandon Banks. Looking for a seam, nowhere to go, and the Cats will have to bring out their kick team. And there's a penalty flag. Flew after, right near the Bombers sideline.
After the play, major foul, unnecessary roughness. Hamilton, number 16. We'll go back 15 yards. It'll be third down.
So some frustration here from Brandon Banks. Let's see what happened. Left-hand shot from the featherweight to the light heavyweight.
Yeah, definitely stepping outside his weight class on that one. Tiger Cats want to get Brandon Banks settled down, keep his emotions in check, and focus on playing football. Obviously, he's a guy they need offensively.
Under 90 seconds to go in this opening quarter. Good boot. Hiralahu. Bombers have something going here. Bring it back the other way. And that is just typical Mike O'Shea. Let's go down to Sarah Orleski.
Well, Rod, we know what Hamilton Ticats Larry Dean, what a difference maker he can be on the field, but through the Larry Dean Foundation, he's wanting to show that he can make a difference off it as well in his hometown of Tifton, Georgia.
So on August the 11th, the Larry Dean Foundation will be putting on the 7th annual Back to School rally. We give the kids in my hometown of Tifton, Georgia, we give them backpacks, school supplies. We have like bounce houses and just have a fun day for them, get the little boys' hair.
Dean is also going to be the beneficiary of being a part of the class of 2018. He's being inducted into the Tift County Athletic Hall of Fame later this month.
Well, he is a class act on and off the field. Saw that catch by newcomer Kenbrell Tompkins. Began the season practice roster with the Bombers. Seen some action briefly. Harris again. Fumble football. The Bombers look like they have turned it over. So a turnover apiece here. And Andrew Harris takes a shot. Simone Lawrence in on that play.
Holding, Winnipeg, number 59. That penalty is declined. First down, Hamilton.
Now the Cats look to make the Bombers pay.
Well, good run support here from the secondary. Leads to the turnover as Andrew Harris looks like he's in open space, but because he's got that ball in his right hand as opposed to in the outside arm, the left hand, away from contact, that hit comes right on the ball and pops it out.
Carriel Brooks with the pop. Simone Lawrence recovers. Before last week against the Alouettes, the Hamilton Tiger Cats had not had 1 point off a turnover into their 7th game. They got 31 last week. Looks like the last play of this opening quarter, barring penalty. Tolliver and Williams, the wideouts. They run the hitch. It's Banks. Brandon Banks down the sideline. First down and more. And a penalty flag here. This likely is coming back. Negate this play.
Holding Hamilton, number 12. The 4 yards were gained. We'll go back 10 yards and be first down. 1 more play in this quarter.
I'll keep an eye here on the matchup. Blocking for this hitch screen, that's Mike Jones blocking, and because Brandon Alexander was so aggressive, Alexander took off like he was shot out of a cannon as he saw this play being set up. He made it a very difficult block and basically forced Jones to hold him by attacking so aggressively upfield.
So a redo of the final play of the first quarter, but it's 1st and 20 now. Cats backed up to their own 45. Send out 5 receivers. Masoli is hammered. And it's Adam Bighill bringing down Jeremiah Masoli with his first sack as a Winnipeg Blue Bomber. And this one was a punisher. Blindsided. That hurts. Hamilton will kick when we come back for the second quarter. Well, pads are popping, hard-hitting one already tonight here. Has got a playoff feel, east and west. Bombers lead the Cats 14-7. One of the big moves in the offseason for any team, and there were a lot of moves, was that acquisition of Adam Bighill, who of course had left the BC Lions, went down to the National Football League, and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers were able to pick up Adam Bighill before the season.
Yeah, late free agent signing. Obviously the Bombers thrilled to be able to find some cap space to bring in one of the best linebackers in recent history, quite frankly, in the Canadian Football League, and he's had an impact in the first quarter of this game. He's got a first quarter forced fumble, and watch off the left side of your screen, Adam Bighill. Watch how he dips and rips, dips that inside shoulder to get underneath the block of the left tackle, Avery Jordan, and essentially untouched to the quarterback, Jeremiah Masoli, for the sack.
So it is a second down here, 2nd and 28 for the Cats. Teams change sides. Sun setting, and Masoli sacked again. The Hamilton team having trouble protecting their quarterback early in this one.
And keep an eye here on Jackson Jeffcoat, the second-year Blue Bomber. Once again, tough matchup for Avery Jordan, the rookie, at the left tackle spot. Now Jordan's a guy a little undersized in terms of weight as an offensive lineman. Came in late to training camp because he had been looking at some blocking tight end opportunities in the National Football League, so still sort of getting back up to true playing weight.
The speedster Kevin Fogg. There's Courtney Stephen, the leading special team tacklers for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Another good starting point for the Blue Bombers. Week 9 will conclude tomorrow. Guess who's back?
Johnny Manziel looking for the bounce back.
Needing a bounce back for those Montreal Alouettes.
Alouettes heading down the road. A couple hours to face the Ottawa Red Blacks in the nation's capital.
8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Three-game week this week. Week 9. Already a couple of interesting outcomes. Last night, the BC Lions knocking off the Eskimos. Play action. Nichols bombing here and close to being picked off. Jamal Roll almost had interception number 3 on the season. Had 2 last week off of the aforementioned Johnny Manziel.
Well, Simone Lawrence supplies the pressure. You see him twisting around to the outside. Beats Andrew Harris off the block to get in the face of Matt Nichols, preventing the quarterback from being able to completely step into that throw. It comes up a little short, allowing Jamal Roll to make the play.
Defense is settling in here now. Nichols, strong arm over the top on a crossing pattern. Second catch of the night. Kenbrell Tompkins, former Cincinnati Bearcat. 18-yard gain, Dwayne.
Yeah, and keep an eye on Tompkins here. Stem up field work all the way across. Those crossing routes, nice timing. This is the man replacing the since traded Adarius Bowman. The Blue Bomber offense, University of Cincinnati product.
Guy was been given a couple of second chances and has made good on them. Troubled pass, but spent some time in the National Football League. Harris can't be stopped right now. Still gets 3 or 4. Hanging on to that rock again. So big day tomorrow for Larry Dean back in Tifton, Georgia, which is far from Atlanta, and not far from Valdosta State as well.
That's right. Career leading tackler, Valdosta State. 2 greats from Valdosta State on the field tonight, by the way. Larry Dean for the Ticats, and of course Mo Leggett over on the other side for the Bombers. But great to see Larry Dean giving back to his community.
Nichols again. Spiral trying to get Tompkins to run underneath it. There's a flag on the far side. Actually 2 flags, one at the 38, one down near the 25. Something on that route. Was there contact? Tompkins seemingly couldn't get free. Foot race.
Once again, it's Nichols with a Ticat defender in his face as he's throwing the football.
Pass interference. Hamilton, number 4. We'll go to point of foul. We have major foul, unnecessary roughness, horse collar tackle. Hamilton, number 55. We'll go up half the distance from that point. Automatic first down. Winnipeg.
Couple of huge penalties here that will benefit the Blue Bombers in a large way.
Here's the receiver in question, number 2 receiver, Kenbrell Tompkins, working against Richard Leonard. Gets flagged for PI on the play. A little bit of interference right there just as the ball is in the air. Leonard looked like may have pulled a hamstring on the play, came up hobbling, grabbing the back of his leg.
And Jamal Westerman, the former Blue Bomber, comes back home.
Yeah, watch off the left side of your screen. Had him by the front of that collar, his old teammate Matt Nichols. I think that's what he's trying to explain to Kim Murphy, as I didn't pull him down from behind.
This is the kind of stuff that drives June Jones crazy.
Tough break for Westerman there. Terrific use of his hands to slap down the hands of the would-be blocker, Stanley Bryant, on that play.
Bombers tied for second in the league in this area, the red zone. Harris, nothing doing there. 55 is back in Winnipeg.
A bit of a homecoming for him.
Those are the Winnipeg numbers for Westerman. Second in the league back 3 seasons ago with 17 sacks. There he is off the edge. Second and 13, end zone bound. Looking for Darvin Adams. Overthrow there, and that means Medlock will come out. Try to make it a 10-point game. 1-on-1, 1v1 going at it. Unamba and Adams. There's former Bomber quarterback Buck Pierce.
Big stop, at least thus far. You never know when the fake might be coming from Mike O'Shea's group.
Got a fake the last time these teams met. Loves the bag of tricks, not this time. Takes the points, 17-7. Jeremiah Masoli been hit hard a couple of times tonight. Operating at a high percentage as always. Needs to find the end zone. The Cats down 17-7.
We want Johnny! We want Johnny! Oh, how can
Live mics in the Canadian Football League. I love the recorded stuff too. Here's Simone Lawrence, wired up, CFL Wired. Tuesday, mic'd up, Alex Green. Alex Green, that is his first catch since coming back into the lineup. Everything he's done so far has been on a handoff.
Yeah, the Ticats do not target their running backs very much in the passing game. In fact, they so often use 6- and 7-man protections. The backs are staying involved in those. John White, during the couple of games that he started, didn't have a pass thrown to him. And as you said, yeah, this is the first one for Alex Green in his second start.
Second down and 1. Masoli will go behind center. He goes right side. Just had to get over the 45-yard line, and he will move the sticks. Masoli and his offense having a field day last week. There's his head coach, of course, with his Hawaiian background as a coach. Lives there in the offseason. Those puka shells mean so much to him. And Samoan culture meaning so much. Polynesian culture meaning so much to June Jones. Jeremiah Masoli is a Polynesian heritage. 4-man rush. Chucking it up, and a nice catch coming back to the ball, back shoulder. And Chris Williams has a big gainer.
Yeah, beautiful execution of the throw behind. You know, with the speed of Chris Williams, that when he gets on his horse and gets a good get off from the line, Chris Randall's thinking, I better run. Perfectly timed back shoulder throw here as Williams breaks it off. You know Randall's going to overrun it. He's thinking, I got to try and catch up to one of the fastest guys in the league. They're able to drop that one in there for a nice gain.
Jeremiah Masoli, perfecto so far. 8 of 8, 131. Always been around the 300 mark. Throws sidearm on a hitch. Backwards to Banks. Might have been a live football, and we'll take a loss here. Significant one for Cats. About a 4 to 5 yard loss on that play.
Yeah, Cats haven't had a lot of success here tonight on the hitch screen. The Blue Bombers doing a terrific job defending it, beating those blocks right at the line of scrimmage.
Have not heard from Luke Tasker tonight, nor Terrence Tolliver. There is the mastermind defensively for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Richie Hall. 2nd and 14. Masoli's calling his own number. Fumble football. Winnipeg football. Craig Rowe. Easy pickings. Jeremiah Masoli wanted to take off with it. The second fumble by the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Slipped right out of his hands into the hands of Craig Rowe. Bomber ball. There's Andrew Harris, CFL rushing leader and president of the O-Line fan club. With more, here's Sarah Orleski.
Rod, he certainly is, and why wouldn't he be with the job? time Andrew Harris speaks about the job that he's done so far this season, he always is quick to credit the offensive line. Well, they have a ton of respect, obviously, for their starting back as well. When the offensive line had T-shirts made, guess who they gave one to? Number 33, Andrew Harris. He jokingly told us as well, he's a part of their text group as well, which was a really big deal for him. So he joked that even though he's about 100 pounds underweight, he's in with the offensive line.
You know you're in when you're texting the big boys.
Well, and you know, as we discussed yesterday with Andrew, the key when you get into that text group, you always know where they're going for dinner. That's what you want with the O-line.
That's smart by them.
Listen, I can tell you from experience, those guys know where the best restaurants are, and they've usually worked out a deal.
And they usually know who some of the highest paid players are. Because, you know, we got to help out those O-line guys.
Now, I will put in a word, because if you want to stay in good form as the O-line, you got to make sure you invite the fullback, Mike Miller, before you get to the running back.
You would know this stuff. And Nichols gunning again, and broken route that time. Darvin Adams is going sideline. Should have been going deep. So quick 2 and out here. After that fumble recovery, no points this time off of that turnover.
And you're getting a feel with these two teams meeting for the second time in the first half of this season. A little bit of rivalry, it feels like. We talked about the emotion. Chris Strevler, of course, was at the center of that the last time these two teams played, but it seems like they've picked up right where they left off in terms of the intensity.
Things a little bit different. Nichols is back. Westerman and Williams now with the Cats. Look at this booming kick. With the left foot of Medlock. Chris Williams makes 1, then 2 miss. Crawls out to the 20. 53-yard kick. A 10-point ball game on Friday Night Football.
Don't miss the final installment of the film series critics call hilarious and gloriously brainless, The Last Sharknado. It's about time. Premieres Sunday, August 19th, only on Space.
Sharks in a tornado.
I have been waiting all season
to watch it, to see that. Long field here for the Cats. Penalty on that return. Alex Green. Hamilton team that doesn't run the ball a whole lot.
So that's actually a documentary, you know, Sharknado.
So that means it's true.
Yeah, completely.
Sharks. So it's a shark twister, basically. 2nd down and 5. It's Bomber D, and it's induced a couple of turnovers. Fumbles already here tonight. Jeremiah Masoli near perfect in the air. Back shoulder again. There's his first target to Terrence Tolliver.
Yeah, Chris Randall was ready for it that time. Well positioned to make a play, Chris Randall. Considered one of the top boundary corners in the Canadian Football League.
Kevin Fogg could give the Bombers some great field position here if former Bomber Hairolahu is going to launch this from his goal line. But he won't. He's going to give up 2. Maybe that's a good play right there. We'll see how this works out for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Give up 2, give up the ball. Otherwise, Bombers were in immediate field goal position.
And that's such a large factor in the game, that field position, starting position, offensively. So Ticats will kick it off here with Hairolahu and put it on their defense to try and pin the Bombers in their own end.
The Winnipeg team, Dwayne, that has scored a lot of points in the first half this season. They've struggled in third quarters. Finished off all right. Again, their 4-3 mark, but plus 85 in the first 2 quarters so far this season. Conversely, Cats, who are also pretty good starters, plus 28. Their issue is the second half, where they're minus 33. Again, we'll see how all those numbers play out.
Well, the Bombers will opt to scrimmage the ball here from their 35-yard line.
Nichols comes behind center again. Andrew Harris runs right into that middle of the Hamilton defense. It's going to be second down, likely a throwing down here. CFL rushing leader again moving closer to 7,000 career yards.
Keep an eye here. You'll see the replay. Nick Dembski will come from left to right on your screen. He fakes that sweep, and the idea here is that's going to keep those ends out wide. They've got to respect that because they've seen Dembski get the ball, whether he takes it up between the tackles or takes it outside on that full sweep, but it kind of loosens up the defense a little bit. Hopefully keeps the gaps a little wider for Andrew Harris.
Out of the backfield, Harris, first down and more. The spin, Andrew Harris. Cats spinning their heads. Harris, the big spin move here.
Yeah, he hasn't been involved in the pass game as much this season as he was a year ago, but if he keeps making big plays like this, Paul LaPolice will have little choice but to throw him the rock. Here's the big move. Spinning completely away from contact. Whoop! Stopping on a dime and leaves Simone Lawrence looking like he's trying to tackle a ghost.
Talking with Harris yesterday about Simone being out there, and you know they're always talking. Andrew Harris won't back down from the trash talk as well. Said he's become good buddies with Simone. He in fact said, and I use this kind of loosely, he said, you know, when I first came into the league, I really didn't like him.
Winnipeg, number 2, after the play. We'll go back 15 yards. It'll be second down.
And Tompkins penalized here, 15 yards back, but so they've got kind of this love-hate relationship.
Yeah, well, exactly, and you know, have come to really enjoy competing against each other on the field. He says he kind of gets a kick out of some of the stuff Simone says out there.
So do we. CFL Wired and Live Mike. Harris on the sideline right now.
Yeah, that'll bring Keenan LaFrance, fellow Winnipeg native, into the game and at running back.
Nichols, down he goes. Big sack here. They were coming. Bullseye on Matt Nichols. Larry Dean was in there. Simone was in there.
Don Unumba leading the way.
Larry Dean finishing him off. 3-minute warning in Winnipeg.
Good start for the Ticats, but that Bomber defense really responded. We'll talk about that at halftime. Also, a breakdown in coverage on the Dressler touchdown, and Johnny Manziel's next start tomorrow night in Ottawa. Lots to talk about at the half. Let's go back to Rod and Dwayne.
All right, thank you, man. Halloween comes early tonight.
What do you mean?
It's a Friday night. Investors Group Field. They come dressed up. Justin Medlock will boot this on 3rd and 27. End over end, looking for that coffin corner. Won't get it there, but that's a great kick down to the 10-yard line. And another long field, 100 yards to pay dirt now for the Cats, a 53-yard boot. Medlock, the former Hamilton Tiger Cat. So Jeremiah Masoli, 8 for 9, 131.
And 100 yards to go right here, courtesy of Justin Medlock. Beautifully placed punt.
He's only a few weeks away from his 30th birthday out of the Bay Area in California. The former quarterback at Ole Miss and Oregon. He has to dump this off. Alex Green. They have some running room here. Not up near the first down marker. May require a measurement here.
Well, Alex Green with his second reception of the game, both on screen passes.
He's second and short. Only one to burn here. 2:15 to go before halftime. Bomber defense that has delivered 3 sacks tonight. Green behind cover and finds the gap and has the first down. Moving this football. 7-yard pickup for Green.
A nice run, Ticats, with that one going opposite the tight end side. Now go back to their base offense. Tasker rejoining that 5-receiver set.
8 receptions so far. Hit 9 receptions, and Luke Tasker hasn't been targeted once here. Normally sure-handed receiver. We'll see if he gets in on this drive. Masoli looking over the top, pulls it back. Incomplete. That's indeed who he was going for. Tasker returned to the lineup last week. And that mauling in Montreal. Cats will have their second bye after this game. Second bye week. Bombers coming off the bye.
Well, keep an eye on the Winnipeg personnel package here on second and long. 3 defensive ends on the field to get after the quarterback.
Flag and a whistle. False start here. Somebody jumped. Masoli's expression says it's against his offense. Penalties have been a bane for the Cats in this first half.
Procedure, Hamilton, number 58, 5-yard penalty, be second down. Timer, reset the clock to read 1:34. 1:34 on the clock, please.
Keep an eye on Avery Jordan, the left tackle here. He knows Craig Rose coming on the rush. A little flinch as he's trying to get off the mark in a hurry to block.
Second down. Masoli has to duck and chuck. And incomplete.
Well, Devon Santos Knox he'll take credit for the pass knockdown here, but the fact is this one just hit him. He sees the ball in the air and he's just running to try and get there to help out. Doesn't know exactly where the ball is. This one digs him as he arrives at the receiver, Brandon Banks.
So Winnipeg has a chance to extend this lead, getting the ball back, and again, would be pretty good field position. Fogg will watch it bounce backwards. Then it goes forwards. Looks like a no yards call. Be a 5-yard penalty because it bounced on a 37-yard kick. 12-point game. So no yards on that return. Ball bounced backwards, then kind of sideways. Caught a couple of Cats in that 5-yard halo area. So Winnipeg will start the Hamilton 48. And great field position for most of the night.
And look at the trade-off in the punts. This all began with Justin Medlock and a well-placed punt.
Nichols hums one and it is close to being picked. On that far sideline as Matt Nichols was trying to go down the rail.
Yeah, Mariel Cooper doing his best Delvin Breaux impression. Filling in for the All-Star corner. It's this matchup on the outside. Darvin Adams, Winnipeg's leading receiver, working against the second-year man Cooper. Terrific coverage. Get credited with the knockdown there to go along with an earlier sack.
Gets that start tonight with Breaux out. Good job there. Deep drop here for Nichols. Looking. Back to Andrew Harris. Harris jumping over one, and there's a penalty flag. He just got past that line of scrimmage. See what this call is. Hamilton could get the ball back again. Medlock sneaking out to the field. It looks like this is against Winnipeg.
Winnipeg, number 10. Penalties decline. It'll be third down.
So third down, Justin Medlock. Hardly any wind here tonight, but the air is thick. His career long is 58, so plenty of leg. Looks like Weston Dressler's coming out to hold, so this will be a 54-yard field goal attempt. There's the rub, though. Chris Williams is in the end zone.
Yeah, longest of the season for Medlock is 50.
So if he's short or wide, there is a pretty good chance that Chris Williams is going to try to bring this back. Again, Medlock. Plenty of foot. And the 54. Kick is up, but it is wide. And here comes Chris Williams, picking his way out of the end zone. Williams up to the 10. Still on his feet. Then lunges and stretches forward to about the 17-yard line. So no points given up. Medlock with the miss. His third of the season. 33 seconds to work now, Dwayne. For the Hamilton Tiger Cats, who have really had trouble moving the football in this second quarter.
Yeah, they've struggled. Masoli has thrown it at a high percentage, but not a whole lot of yardage to show for it, as you said, Rod, particularly here in the second 15 minutes.
Look at those handsome guys. Just wait, hey? Look at them.
Oh, what a crew.
What a crew. Be at the studio in about a minute or so. Masoli zigs and zags up near the 30. Will get the first down. Still has time for a couple of plays to get it into field goal range.
Yeah, Masoli lost a shoe on that one, but you know, I will say I do love what he brings to the run game. The called runs for quarterback Jeremiah Masoli. Comes in averaging 8 yards a carry on the season, and that's even factoring in quarterback sneaks.
Both teams in this second quarter under 50 yards offense. Here comes the blitz. Masoli fires to the far side. Tolliver trying to get out of bounds. Will not. This is likely the last play, barring penalty, before halftime. Difference really in this ball game, those 7 extra points that Winnipeg got off a fumble recovery. Final play, first half. Masoli to the near sideline, and Tolliver getting out of bounds, but the clock was already at 0. So another completion. Hamilton got the first touchdown. Winnipeg scored 19 straight. That's the story on Friday Night Football as we send it back to Rod and those dapper dudes in the studio.
Right on a couple of counts there, Rod Black. They are looking dapper tonight. David Sanchez, Matt Dunnigan, Milt Stiegel. And right also on the momentum swing on that, Matty, he talked about it. I mean, this is the top net offense in the CFL. They look great. 6 plays, 75 yards, touchdown. And then after that, all Winnipeg's D.
Yeah, and it was. And you want to start out when you're playing on the road on fire. And Jeremiah Mazzoli does just that. In fact, he was perfect, 4 for 4 on the first drive. And I want to just show what he brings to the table. Just watch his feet. And he does this a lot. Throwing to his left. He's off balance. He's trying to get his chest around and square up his hips. And he throws to his spot. He throws Jalen Saunders open here because Jalen Saunders is not open. He's actually double covered. Man over the top, man underneath. He's got thrown to this spot right out here, very close to the sidelines. Saunders and he are certainly on the same page once again. And then here, this is a dime. This is a throw behind her back shoulder throw. Look at that small window he's got to throw it to. That's a beautiful throw. Chris Randall's all over that coverage. In fact, they completed a couple more balls like that. One to Chris Williams and one to Terrence Tolliver that he should have caught that was put down on the ground. Mazzoli started on fire. He didn't help himself with fumble the football mill, but from that point forward, I think really what happened was Winnipeg, they possessed the football and their defense, particularly Adam Bighill, woke up.
And you talk about Adam Bighill. You talk about off-season signings, and there were a lot of off-season signings. Everyone was talking about Johnny Manziel, a couple other guys. But I think the most important for any team this year had to be Adam Bighill, without a doubt. You talk about Winnipeg. I think this is the most important off-season signing they had since they signed some guys. Art in football called tackling. Adam Bighill is bringing it back. He's a solid tackle. He can make tackles within the tackle. He can also make tackles in the open field. And Richie Hall is having a fun time using this guy. You see him coming off the edge, making a sack right there. He does it all. You got to love this ref cam. That's a close-up of Adam Bighill making some plays. And he's infectious. Everyone feeds off of him. When you come to practice and you see a guy like Adam Bighill working harder in the game, even if you're in a slump, you're going to get yourself together because you know your leader, your quarterback, and your defense is working hard.
I was with him when he was a rookie. I begged them to keep him. They were talking about another guy. I begged them to keep him. I don't think Wally.
Who's the other guy? Remember?
Yeah, I don't know, but Solly was there as well.
Okay.
But I'll tell you this much. I don't think Wally or Benny was listening to me at the time. But I definitely was fighting for Adam Bighill. I promise you that.
Okay, talk more defense now. What about the coverage breakdown on the Dressler touchdown?
Yeah, well, the first touchdown of Weston Dressler, one thing that would drive every defensive coordinator crazy is in the red zone. When you're playing an in and out in the red zone, the outside guy is going to be out-leveraged. The inside guy is going to be out-leveraged. You got to know that. Roll right here. Weston Dressler, Shirley, when they point right here, you see them point? They're playing in and out. The whole stadium knows they're playing in and out, including Weston Dressler, who attacks his leverage outside and brings it back inside. 25 roll right there. He knows he's out-leveraged. As soon as they're playing in and out, he's going to jump inside and beat the man to the ball. We see this week in and week out with switches. Another thing, too, in the red zone, in the goal line. Put your feet on the edge of a cliff and come downhill. You take one step back in the red zone, you're falling off the cliff, you're dead, and it's a touchdown.
They should never, you never switch in the red zone. You never, as a defense, when you cover your guy and you say, I'm going to lock in on my guy.
We made a living off of them switching in the red zone. And they're still making a living at it.
It's gotta be frustrating.
And you know what? When David switched on me, I was like, this is a touchdown, baby.
Who did they sign in 95?
Don't stop.
Who's the guy that signed in 95?
That was me.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez, I was going to say they didn't sign Charles Roberts in 1995.
That was me. Yeah.
At the half, talk some Manziel, Ottawa Red Blacks coming up.
We're underway here tonight in a smoker in the Peg. Look out here, Andrew Harris down inside the 10. Harris will score. Touchdown. First down and more. The spin.
Things went so bad, so quick.
Pressure on right away, and he's picked off right away.
This game is humbling. This is a humbling experience.
Johnny tossing it out, and it's picked off.
I don't want to have this feeling again.
That's our question. Will there be a bounce back for Johnny Manziel? I mean, might be a little hasty expecting it with his very next game, but it's against the Ottawa Red Blacks tomorrow night, Milt. You know, can you expect a little bit of a learning experience and improvement here?
I think we'll see some improvement. I mean, I don't know how much that's saying after the way he played that first game, but I think we'll see some improvement. I talked to offensive coordinator Kahari Jones. He said they have a little bit more time to design some things that's going to suit his skill set. You know, he has a very unique skill set. So he'll see some improvement. Will it be enough for them to actually make a dent and beat the Ottawa Red Blacks? I don't know about that. But I think for Johnny, they just need to see improvement each and every game. Allow him to adjust to the nuances of the game that he hadn't been through. So we'll see some improvement.
How about some improvement at the offensive line?
Yeah.
How about starting right there? Protect the kid. Protect Vernon Adams 2 weeks ago. Protect Matthew Schultz. Protect Drew Willie. How about protection first and foremost, inside out, and get that looked after so those guys can actually set their feet and operate an offense within the pocket and confines. Yes, I can understand them designing plays to better suit his skill set. How about some quick screens? Get the ball out of his hand quickly. We see a lot of that. We've seen it in tonight's ball game.
Maddie.
People saying, where's Johnny? Where's Matt Nichols in tonight's ball game? And he's killing it.
Maddie, Mike Sherman said something this week that I thought it clicked for me. He said, I like his demeanor is different than most quarterbacks I've been with. I want to get him in and out of the huddle quickly, which tells me you want to change the foundation of your offense for your quarterback. But with Johnny here, getting him in and out the huddle
that's football 101.
This fits his skill set. It's not about the system. It's about him getting him in and out of the huddle. It fits his skill set, sort of like the Phoenix Suns or Loyola. Running gun up and down, getting him in and out of the huddle quicker. It's not about system. It's just simply about getting him in and out and playing at the tempo that Johnny feels good with.
We get it. In and out of the huddle. How about
we haven't talked about it, though. We might get it, but we haven't talked about it.
How about
not system. It's in and out of the huddle.
Let's not forget,
In and out of the
Red
huddle.
Blacks defense pretty fired up. They blew a 24-point lead in Toronto last week. We got that one coming up to wrap up a week 9 tomorrow at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. We're at the half in Winnipeg. Where's Johnny? And Matt's back here wondering, where's Matt? Matt Nichols, 68 yards passing. You know he hasn't been fantasy. Great job by the Bomber D. 19-7 lead. Back with more after this. Ticats have more net yards offensively, but turnovers are hurting. So too are penalties. 9 of them for 89 yards so far in this game. And Andrew Harris for the Bombers with 63 yards rushing and a touchdown. Here he is with Sarah Oleski.
Andrew, in the last game against Toronto, we didn't see a whole lot on the ground, but you've been able to establish it in the opening 2 quarters. How?
So those guys up front, they're, you can drive a truck through those holes. They're doing a great job. But overall, we got to be better. We're leaving some points on the field. Our defense is playing good, creating turnovers. So we just got to capitalize and get points every time we get a drive.
Would you look at yourself as that first 2 quarters as just being really opportunistic when it's been there in terms of being able to capitalize on the turnovers?
Yeah, we got to finish though. We got to end every drive with a kick, and with turnovers and we got to get points in this team. This is a team that can put up a lot of points in a quick time. But having said that, our defense is playing great, but we got to be better for our team overall.
Thanks so much, Andrew.
Thank you.
Harris getting close to 100 yards combined in this one with just about 30 more through the air as well. He's right, though. They've been moving it. They haven't been cashing it as much, but they do have a 12-point lead for the second half about to start.
Back in Winnipeg under the Friday night lights. Hamilton scored first, but it's been all Blue Bombers since then. Here's ex-Blue Bomber Jamal Westerman with Sarah.
Jamal, nobody on this Ticats team is more familiar with Investors Group Field than you are. What is it like to come back here and play as a visitor?
Honestly, it's fun to come back here, but it's pretty good for us because they're quiet when their offense is on the field. So for the defender, it's pretty good. We can hear the signals. It's hard to play here, I think, as a home team on defense. But we're excited. We have to go out there and play a little harder in this second half because they're up right now, but our energy is high. We have to keep flying around and try to make plays.
You guys have been able to limit Matt Nichols through the air, but Andrew Harris has had success on the ground. How do you contain him in the second half?
We just have to do a better job flying to the ball and tackle him. I had a shit one where I was running after him and didn't make the tackle. He's a good back, and we need everybody on him. So we just have to do better, everybody, and collectively as a defensive unit.
Thanks so much, Jamal.
You're welcome.
Jamal Westerman. The fierce one. A little salty. Bombers kick it off to start the second half. Leading by 12, Sean Thomas Erlington. Taylor Loeffler downfield. Jeremiah Masoli didn't put up a lot of yards. but operated at a very high, precise efficiency.
And one of the things I thought Masoli did well in the first half, in addition to the accuracy with which he threw the football, we saw a couple of called runs. Masoli taking off with it, using his legs to move the chains. Try and keep that defense honest. He completed 79% of his passes through the opening 30 minutes.
Nobody really had any big plays in that first half. Masoli rearing back and chucking it up, and it's caught by Chris Williams. That was a prayer, as the ball looked like it was maybe even deflected as Masoli was throwing, and it was up for grabs. Williams brings it down, a pickup of 2.
Yeah, Masoli looks for a second here like he's going to make one more move to try and escape, and then realizes, yeah, I'm in trouble. Puts it up. He knows he's got Chris Williams close to the line of scrimmage out towards that sideline.
A dangerous toss.
Yeah, took the risk and floated one out there.
Floats it out, 2nd and 8 now. Crowd into it tonight here in Winnipeg. They always are. This one's knocked down. Jackson Jeffcoat with the swat down. And it will be a quick 2-and-out for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Yeah, good awareness here from Jackson Jeffcoat. He's standing up at the end of the line of scrimmage. Engages with his man, Riker Matthews, but eyes on the quarterback. Quarterback cocks that arm to throw, and up goes the arm of Jeffcoat. Right side of your screen from this angle. The big mitt to knock it down.
Offenses were firing on all cylinders early in this ball game, but the defenses have tightened the screws. First quarter onward. Kevin Fogg, only a couple of yards. Andrew Harris, leading yard gainer so far here tonight on the ground.
Well, the Canadian Football League's leading rusher. Got off to a good start. Blue Bombers did a nice job attacking right up the gut, particularly in the first quarter against this Ticat defense.
It's funny, he had a couple of big romps early on, but since that time has been spied and gobbled up.
Yeah, had a couple of big plays in the passing game, though, in the second quarter.
Here's Harris again. Spin move, of course, late. There's Simone Lawrence. Mike Daly also in on the tackle, so almost 5 yards. Mike Daly, I guess he got here just in time today, and so did his firstborn.
Yes, Mike Daly, proud new papa. Levi John, born to Mike and Sam last night.
That's a good handle. Congratulations to Mike, his wife, and welcome to the world. Levi John. Nichols. Oh, and almost picked off. And downfield quickly. Cariel Brooks.
Yeah, Brooks was well positioned on that play, and one I'm sure he'd like to have another shot at, a ball he probably should have caught. That was just past the outstretched hands of the intended receiver, Nick Dembski.
And a team that has not picked off many footballs, with the exception of last week. 4 picks against Johnny Manziel. So Chris Williams is back. How big was that punt by Justin Medlock near the end of that second quarter? And the Cats, he's looking for that coffee corner again, and he has done another good job down near the 10-yard line. Starting points have been a big problem here for the Hamilton Tiger Cats tonight. Another long field for Jeremiah Masoli and the Cats. Cariel Brooks knows he could have had a pick. 12-point ball game on Friday Night Football from the Peg. Battle of defenses now and field position. Good punt again by Justin Medlock. 100 yards away from the Winnipeg end zone. Jeremiah Masoli camps out now in the shotgun. Sends out 5 receivers. And now that pocket closes. Flushed and he rushes. Tries to spin. Spun right into Jackson Jeffcoat. Let's go down to Sarah Orlesky with some key injury updates.
Yeah, Rod, the Hamilton Tiger Cats didn't make it out of that first half unscathed, losing starters on both sides of the ball. On the defensive side of the ball, halfback Richard Leonard done for the game with a lower body injury. On the offensive side of the ball, it's their leading receiver, Jalen Saunders, also done with a lower body injury.
Well, a costly one. June Jones, Cats. Masoli again, here comes the pressure. Now he goes for Terrence Tolliver. Kevin Fogg had it. There's a penalty flag right near the midfield stripe and also from the 45-yard line. This could be interference here. Tolliver was behind coverage, but it was double coverage. It was in the midst of Fogg. But an interception wouldn't have mattered. This would have been pass interference, it appears.
Looked like Fogg clipped the legs of Tolliver.
Pass interference. Winnipeg, number 3. Point of foul, automatic first down, Hamilton.
Here you'll get a close-up look at this matchup. Tolliver versus Fogg. Breaks inside, and Fogg tries to come underneath to the ball, but trips up the intended receiver as he attempts to come up with his 4th pick of the season. The result, of Ticats first down. Terrence Tolliver, by the way, is one of the Ticats designated internationals. So with Saunders down, they actually have the depth. It just means that Tolliver plays every snap now offensively, as opposed to rotating in and out of the lineup.
Soley called his receivers back and changed the play, and then called his number. Tucks it, takes it, and sprints out. Down inside the 40 to the 30. A cutback here by the quarterback, Jeremiah Masoli. Big gainer here as he catches the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Fake handoff to Green, a 36-yard scamper for number 8.
Watch the defense pinch to the inside and freeze on that fake to Green. All eyes on the Ticat running back right here as everybody's looking inside. Jeremiah Masoli sneaks outside. Nice block there from the right tackle, number 61, Riker Matthews.
His longest run of the season, 36-yarder. Big play here. Masoli handing it off to Green. Tristan Opolugo wraps him up and rips him down. Set up second down here and likely a throwing down for the Cats. Couple of big plays aided by a penalty, a 35-yard penalty on this drive, and then that scramble by Masoli. Luke Tasker just targeted once, no catches yet tonight. He's been a second down guy. Masoli's in trouble, and he's going down. Craig Rowe, Jackson Jeffcoat got to him, and another sack here. 4 sacks for the Blue Bombers here tonight. Team that gives up a lot of sacks.
Well, I'll tell you, part of the challenge here for the Hamilton Tiger Cats is they use an extra offensive lineman who is typically an interior guy. In this case, Matthew Girard used to be Landon Rice before the trade. These are guys who typically play on the interior. You put them at tight end and use them in pass protection. Now you're asking them to do essentially a tackle's job, blocking off the edge, blocking in space against more athletic defensive ends. It's something that they're not, honestly, best equipped to do, and you kind of see the pressure against a team with good defensive ends in Jeffcoat, Opolugo, and Rowe.
Lirim Hairolahu, successful field goal to cut the lead to 9, but a flag is down. Likely will be declined if it is against Winnipeg, would mean third down repeated. They'll take the field goal. It was 3rd and 15, almost 3rd and 17.
Too many men, Winnipeg, penalties decline. Result of the play is a field goal.
That would have been significant had they been at the first down marker. They could have kept that drive alive. They'll take the 3 points. Hamilton's first score since the first series. 4-sack night already for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on Friday Night Football.
I just want to finish the point I was making about who plays on the edge when you go to these tight end formations. You got 3 guys out there. Number 3 obviously is your tight end, but that's a guy who's usually a guard or center. You switch those 2 outside guys, Riker Matthews, who's normally a tackle and is used to blocking the edge, used to blocking defensive ends, with Matthew Girard, who's a center or a guard, used to blocking on the interior, kind of insulated, surrounded with people around him. Flip those 2 guys, have the tackle report as the eligible, and I think you're in a better position.
Quick hitter this time for Darvin Adams. We might see a little more of this now from Matt Nichols in that Bomber offense. Went for a lot of deep routes in that first half, only 68 yards passing. Their furthest reception was 20 yards, and there was yards after that catch, so none of those bombs are working out. We might see more of those dig routes.
Yeah, the short stuff and quick hitters. Now it'll be interesting to see how much they go to Darvin Adams here. He has a couple catches in this ball game. I'll tell you, when Delvin Breaux is on that corner, my consultation with Derek Taylor this week tells me only 2 passes completed in Delvin Breaux' territory this season.
Crossing pattern, and caught, and a first down. So a couple of short hitters here. Daniel Peterman, his 3rd catch as a Winnipeg Blue Bomber, the 3rd round Bomber draft pick, number 81.
Keep an eye on the work done by Andrew Harris here without the football. As the ball comes to Peterman underneath, Andrew Harris, number 33, is coming back. He's the guy who's going to get the block right there on Simone Lawrence. Just allowing Peterman to get around that edge and pick up an extra yard or 2.
Guy who grew up, I'm sure, Daniel Peterman, going to a lot of Tiger Cat games, native of Stony Creek, and played at McMaster. Now a Winnipeg Blue Bomber.
Yeah, great career at McMaster. Had a terrific CFL week and combine here in Winnipeg. Top receiver in the bench press event, which I think kind of served notice to some people who didn't realize necessarily that he was quite as physically strong as he was. They knew he was a good route runner, smart player, good hands, and so on. But giving an indication of some of that physical toughness.
Getting a lot of reps on this drive. Andrew Harris with a catch and a cutback. And another first down. So back-to-back-to-back big plays here for the Blue Bombers. Finally getting some momentum offensively.
As we've seen Hamilton maybe start to make some adjustments to deal with Andrew Harris in the ground game. Bombers have gotten number 33 a little bit more involved as a receiver. Defensive coordinator Jerry Glanville will look to find the answers there.
Last-minute substitution here for Hamilton. They looked a little confused on their defensive scheme. Nichols, play action, going over the top, and it's caught! Touchdown! Here come the stairs. Nick Dembski. Or will he? Loves his Manitoba Bisons. The former Bisons staying off the stairs tonight.
Well, and there's your welcome to the CFL moment for John Green. Suiting up tonight as the backup DB with Frankie Williams out of the lineup for Hamilton. He gets pressed into service with the injury to Richard Leonard and gets tested immediately. And coverage on Nick Dembski, and Dembski beats the CFL rookie.
Salute to his Bisons, the herd in the end zone.
Yeah, the Bisons, like many teams in youth sports across the country, opening camp yesterday with medicals, testing, etc., getting checked in. So we know Coach Brian Doby was busy with his boys in meetings last night.
That logo in the north end zone. Hail to the Bisons, and a former Bison, Nick Dembski, stays off the stairs this week, but has a touchdown, his 4th of the season. This was a huge one. Rude welcome to the CFL, John Green.
Well, going back to the touchdown play, I want you to keep an eye here on the free safety for Hamilton, Mike Daly, as he looks like he's got his eyes on Winnipeg receiver Drew Wolotarski. He's coming in to block as they look like they're manned up on that side. He's got his eyes on him at the line of scrimmage, sneaks up. Well, that leaves room in the middle of the field. Nick Dembski sees the hole, safety's gone. Take the hole. Milt Stiegel made a career out of it. Matt Nichols, much like Kahari Jones in the good old days here in the Peg, takes a shot. Dembski for the touchdown.
Salutes his alma mater. And the Cats answer. Thomas Erlington. Chandler Fenner again. How about this number? 40. Matt Nichols, 68 yards passing in the first half. Little different on that drive.
Yeah, exceeding that number with 71 yards on 4 for 4 passing on that drive, capping it off with the touchdown shot to Nick Dembski. What a homecoming season he's had in his first year.
He's not predictable.
Back in the peg.
Like two weeks ago, 2 touchdowns right up those stairs. It's kind of going off that now.
Yeah, you got to mix it up. You know, much like play calling, keep the opposition off balance, keep them guessing. How about that for Matt Nichols? Tale of 2 halves.
I got one more.
Held to 68 yards, under 50% in the first half of this ball game.
And we're stymied by that stingy Hamilton D in the second quarter. See what Masoli has in store. 2nd down and 6. Penalty flag. Masoli. Overthrow, looking for Brandon Banks, and there's flags down.
Looked like Craig Rowe might have jumped.
So that would make it, if it is offside, that would make it a 3rd and 1. Craig Rowe's had a big night.
Offside. Winnipeg, number 93. It's a 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
His first real blemish.
Yeah, Craig Rowe's been a nice pickup for Winnipeg this year, coming over after a couple seasons in BC. A great fit into that D-line rotation with fellow defensive ends Tristan Opolugo and Jackson Jeffcoat. You know, you often see in passing down, 2nd and long situations, they'll get all 3 of those guys on the field together, give some different looks. 3 athletic guys who can rush the passer or drop in coverage.
So it's 2nd and 1, and Masoli. Like 2 Rams butting heads there. Adam Bighill and Jeremiah Masoli. First down, moves the sticks.
Adam Bighill continues to make his presence felt. I agree 100% with Milt Stiegel's words at halftime. The biggest off-season move, biggest acquisition by any team, Adam Bighill. Such an impact player, and it's not just what he does on the field, but this is a guy who can really have a positive impact on the culture and the attitude of any team. 6 tackles and a sack for number 4 in blue tonight.
Masoli. Tolliver trying to climb the ladder, but
created that. Come on, tell me what happened there. What created that?
Way over his head.
Come on. 2nd down. Come on.
So now it's 2nd down. 16-point ball game. Cats scored on their first possession tonight. Not a touchdown, only a field goal after that. Masoli has time. Now looks out for Banks. He's got it. And a first down.
The Ticats did a nice job that time as they go to their tight end formation, getting things locked down in terms of protection. You see on the backside, Craig Rowe loops inside. He'll get taken care of. This time, Jeremiah Masoli with plenty of time to set up and allow this route to develop. Nice job by Alex Green to pick up the loop, or Jeffcoat coming back around.
This run and shoot revival going on with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and Masoli was thinking about pulling it back from Alex Green. Green continued on. Just got past the line of scrimmage.
Well, sometimes defensively you just have the right call at the right time, and this is the case. Watch Mo Leggett time this up. Reads the snap count perfectly, hits the line running. He was almost in position to take the handoff that time.
Masoli was hanging on to it for a long time as well.
I'll tell you what, the way Leggett sliced in off that edge, Masoli might have had a chance to pull it and boot out to the same side.
Throwing down here, second down and 9. Masoli has Tolliver. Takes a pop here from Mo Leggett. Tallish Terrence Tolliver, our biggest receiver.
Again, Tolliver probably going to get some more looks and certainly play some more offensive snaps with the injury to Jalen Saunders here tonight. Good concentration to hold on there with Mo Leggett closing quickly.
Stall of last season again with that ACL injury. The opening game, opening play, 2017. 2 minutes to go, third quarter. 8th play of the drive, longest drive for the Cats here. And Alex Green rumbles left side and is pile driven by Taylor Loeffler. Almost 5 yards.
Yeah, a good first down play there for the Tiger Cats. And again, play to keep that Blue Bomber defense honest. The Ticats a little bit pass heavy, a team that on first down throws the ball more than most.
2nd and 5. And caught by Tasker. And Luke Tasker cut back down to the 15-yard line. His first catch of the night is a huge one for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
And Tasker takes advantage of the over pursuit to the football by Marcus Sales. Running to try and make a play on the ball. He ends up overshooting the receiver, which allows Tasker to pick up about an extra 10 yards after the catch.
Long drive continues. Trying to make it a one-possession game heading to the 4th. And again, they'll be passing here. Hamilton Tiger Cats so far, and again, it's early in the season, just that 3-4 record. They have not won a game when they've trailed after 3 quarters.
Well, starting to pick up momentum here, and they're certainly hoping to put themselves in position to reverse the trend. One of their best drives of the ball game right here.
Besides last week in Montreal, second half efforts have been an issue. Masoli with a deep drop, backpedals, now goes end zone, and it is caught! Brandon Banks with a sensational catch and the touchdown. And there is a flag in the end zone. The Hamilton Tiger Cats quiet this pro Bomber crowd. Bullet, Brandon Banks. Spectacular catch right at the goal line. Waiting the call, likely against Winnipeg here.
Take a look at the tail end here. Brandon Banks leaping right at the goal line to haul that one down between 2 Winnipeg defenders.
What a catch by Brandon Banks.
Illegal contact on the receiver. Winnipeg, number 36. Penalty is declined. Result of the play is a touchdown.
Hamilton will go for 2. They've only gone for the 2-point convert once this season, and they were unsuccessful. This will make it a one-possession game. Masoli has to run for his life, and he still escapes. Now going back to the 35, and Jeremiah Masoli now chucks it out of bounds. That was a lot of running, a lot of heat from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
That just seemed like a lot of work for 2 points.
For a lot of work. Cats still alive, heading to the fourth. How about that drive?
Yeah, 11 plays, 84 yards, in 6 minutes and 14 seconds. That's the Ticats a touchdown. We got ourselves a ball game.
10-point lead, as mentioned. The Cats now try to erase that trend where they have lost every game so far that they have trailed heading to the third quarter. They need to come back still here, down 10, heading to the fourth. Welcome back to Friday Night Football, where we've had the ref cam here tonight, the Kim Murphy cam, if you will. Now, earlier in the game, Jeremiah Masoli ran for 36 yards forward. I believe he ran 40 yards backward on that two-point convert.
Well, nobody had a better view of it than the referee, Kim Murphy, with the ref cam. Pursuit, Javon Santos Knox, first guy who has a shot. Nice little back pedal there by Kim, by the way, to get out of the way. All the way across the field. This play started from scrimmage at the 3-yard line. Masoli chased out of bounds, as you said, about 40 yards later.
I know he probably makes a very good living as a referee, but does he get anything extra for being a cameraman tonight? That was some pretty good work there by Kim. So it's 10-point lead. Start the fourth with a kick by the Cats. Nick Dembski earlier had a nice return. Ball game, also had a touchdown. Loves the home cooking. Brandon Banks. A few 100-yard receiving games and has another trip to the end zone.
Yeah, he's the man of the moment. And you see the outside receiver on that play, Chris Williams, his man Kevin Fogg was peering in the whole way, so he can see Banks making that route. That's why he falls off and comes to help out. But nice concentration by the fearless Brandon Banks to go up in traffic and make a play.
Now it's up to Hamilton's D. Gunning again and trying to stretch out. It was Tompkins, who can fly. Funny watching the Bombers again, living up to their name. They've been throwing that bomb a lot, but have not been successful yet tonight.
Just off the fingertips of the speedy Tompkins.
Grew up in tough streets of Liberty City in Miami, Florida.
Product of Northwestern High School. Mookie Mitchell, among the many former football stars who played there.
Look at this shovel. Saying it's incomplete. It's a pass by Matt Nichols. Two-handed underhand pass. So quick 2 and out. Cats D does the job.
Yeah, maintaining that momentum that their offense developed on the last drive. This Winnipeg's offense has been sitting for a while. Again, that was a drive of over 6 minutes put together by the Ticats, culminating in the Brandon Banks touchdown. Offense for Winnipeg gets back on the field for 2 plays and now sitting again.
Medlock bobbles it, kicks it with his right foot. There are penalty flags all over the place. How about Justin Medlock?
Well, the Bombers were fortunate in that case that Hamilton was clearly setting up the return rather than having any kind of rush scheme on, so no one was really pressuring Medlock. He had plenty of time to pick up the bobbled snap and get the kick away.
With his right foot, though, he's left-footed kicker, still 40 yards. This could result in some pretty good field position for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. It'll be no yards. Just kind of slipped out of the grasp of Justin Medlock, the veteran kicker. Former Kansas City Chief pick. Again, Medlock's left-footed. Whoops. Can use his right equally well on Friday Night Football. Justin Medlock kicks out with his right foot. There were a few penalties on that. 2 offset. Legal man downfield, illegal block. And there was no yards. Hamilton declined, so the ball is where it is and where it was. Inside Winnipeg territory. Alex Green picks up almost 5. Mo Leggett there. Key second down coming here at Investors Group Field in Winnipeg tonight. Rod Black, Dwayne Ford, Sarah Orleski, our crew here. Week 9, the CFL key east-west collision. Second meeting of the season met in week 3. Hamilton won. Winnipeg leading this one. Masoli looks, gets hit. The ball still out and caught again by Brandon Banks. Close to 100. That might put him at 100. That will be 6 100 games, 100-yard games this season.
Well, what's most remarkable about this to me, it's a terrific catch to stay in bounds, but watch the hit that Jeremiah Masoli takes from Jackson Jeffcoat coming off the left side of your screen just as he throws the football. I mean, he is getting hit as he releases the football, yet nothing off the throw at all. Right on the money all the way out to the sideline.
Perfect spiral. Quads to the right. They'll keep it on the turf. Green now. Turns down to the 25-yard line. It's going to be second and about 3.
Just looking back at the big play. Masoli to Brandon Banks right before that. Good coverage by Kevin Fogg. He's running right with him. Throw could not have been more perfect from Jeremiah Masoli.
Speedy B, another century mark. What a difference it's made in his game since June Jones took over last year. Pulling it back is Masoli. First down and more. Finds an opening down near the 1-yard line. Jeremiah Masoli almost untouched for about 7 yards before Taylor Loeffler and Chris Randall converged.
And you could see this one coming a mile away as Alex Green has had some production carrying the ball on first down a couple times in a row. So now you start to see that defense. Everybody's pinching, zeroing in on Alex Green when they see Masoli with that action. Nobody's in contained because they're trying to get the tackle between on the inside to Green. Jeremiah Masoli recognizes that, pulls it, and off he goes to set the Tiger Cats up on the doorstep here.
They just changed the spot. It was 1.5-yard line. It's now at the 2. First and goal, Masoli. Hands it to Green, and he will plow his way in. Touchdown, Hamilton. Here come the Cats. All is quiet in Winnipeg right now.
Yeah, Tiger Cats gaining momentum late in the third quarter, carrying it here into the fourth.
Kind of a ball
back-to-back touchdown drives.
And a ball control offense.
Well, yeah, I mean, running the football we've seen. Alex Green starting to produce in the ground game here in the second half of this ball game. Jeremiah Masoli's done a terrific job running the ball as well. 5 plays, 54 yards. Again, always helps to start with that short field. They started off just inside Bomber territory on that possession and made the most of it.
To make it a 3-point game, Lirim Hajrullahu does that. Jeremiah Masoli, 80 yards on the ground himself tonight. Right you are. Masoli almost had the touchdown earlier. Alex Green has 2 tonight. Little punch in. We have got a finish in Winnipeg. A 3-point ball game on Friday Night Football. Well, back at Bell Reef tomorrow, Missouri. 3rd round, and I guess the completion of the 2nd round. They had weather today, so many of the players did not finish, including Tiger Woods, who was torrid today. 3 under through 7 holes, climbing the leaderboard. Gary Woodland, the leader, 10 under. Dustin Johnson shot 4 under today. Brooks Koepka's on the leaderboard. Should be an exciting day tomorrow at the PGA Championship. Alex Green has a pair of touchdowns here tonight. Hamilton Tiger Cats scratching and clawing and not going away. Still lots of football left here. Dembski's done a good job on the kickoff returns tonight. Continues to do a good job. Brings it up near the 40-yard line. Finally finished off right there. Hamilton's defense forced a 2 and out, which led to this touchdown drive.
Yeah, let that offense keep the momentum going. Big play here. Perfect strike from Masoli to Banks along the sidelines. Masoli follows that up with one of his several big runs in this football game, and Alex Green punches it in for the touchdown.
Teams have been very close. Going back to 2011, they've split the games 10-9 Hamilton. Cats dominated in week 3, but remember, no Matt Nichols in that game. Teams were different. It was early in the season. Nichols needs to get his offense going here. Stagnant last few trips. And Hamilton's ability to take away the deep ball tonight has been a story as well.
Yeah, largely avoiding giving up the big play despite the absence of their top defensive back, their shutdown corner, Delvin Breaux. Injury scratch after getting nicked in practice late this week.
Andrew Harris, 17 yards from 7,000. Not thinking about that right now. Got some confusion. Peterman is in motion, and Harris had moved him. And Harris moves the football into first down territory.
Well, this is a great second effort because the Ticats had Andrew Harris stopped short of first down yardage here. Nice look given here. You're going to see Nick Dembski fake the run this way. Harris comes across underneath and slips out into the flat. Quick hitter as Nichols drops it just over the outstretched arms of Don Unumba, coming free on the blitz. And right here, Harris is about 1.5 yards. 2 yards short of a first down when he first makes contact with Michael Daly.
Here it goes again. Ariel Brooks, Andrew Harris.
Well, Harris starting to warm up a little bit here as the Winnipeg offense looks to get in a groove. 3 consecutive plays.
What are you talking about? Everybody's warm here. Everybody's hot here.
It is a toasty evening.
It is. Second down, key down here for the Blue Bombers. Trying to answer back. Nichols goes over the top and unable to hang on second down was Wolotarski. And the Hamilton D stops the Bomber drive again. Out of field goal range, Medlock has to punt.
Keep an eye on Jamal Westerman. Coming off that edge, second effort. Finds his way into the backfield as Larry Dean makes a play on that ball underneath.
For the most part, they've kept the ball out of the hands of Chris Williams on the return tonight. Not seen Brandon Banks back there. Banks has been busy offensively. Banks did all the punt returning last week in Montreal. Frankie Williams out. Trying to angle again. This one will not get to the sideline. Williams has nowhere to go. Bombers downfield so quickly. Good kick. Great special teams play. Long field, Cats down 3. The other football, MLS on TSN, continues tomorrow. Portland battles Whitecaps FC. Underway at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific on TSN 1 and 4 tonight in Winnipeg. Good battle going on here. Black and gold, green and gold. Blue and gold and black and gold. Green and gold last night. On the green at Investors Group Field at the 10-yard line. Soley to Green, and Alex Green. High steps out to the 30. That was a big run by Green.
Yeah, nice burst from Alex Green. Things got clogged up right at the line of scrimmage. You had pullers on the backside who couldn't get around, but Alex Green finds an opening himself all the way around that right edge. Give the Ticats a little bit of breathing room after the terrific punt from Medlock pinned them deep.
Past the midway point of the fourth quarter. Maybe more here tonight. Soley slinging and complete for Williams.
Williams in a tight window there. Looked as if Taylor Loeffler in coverage almost got a hand on that one. See defensive coordinator Richie Hall trying to come up with a stop for his group here.
Soley with 251 yards passing. Close to another 300-yard effort. Here comes the blitz. Soley spins out of trouble and tosses it away incomplete. Are they going to call this a sack, or are they going to call this incomplete? They'll have to kick.
Bombers bringing 6 on the play. Just overpowering the Cats on that one to earn the sack.
One hop to Hairolahu on the snap. Fogg, no yards, 15-yard penalty. Good starting point near the midfield stripe for Winnipeg again. Andrew Harris inching closer to the 7,000-yard career mark. Nowhere near
no yards.
Average.
Hamilton, number 30. That's a 15-yard penalty. First down, Winnipeg.
Hamilton's D came in as last in the CFL, stopping the run. They've done a pretty good job.
Yeah, largely rising to the occasion here. And I mean, they've been, frankly, helped out a little bit by their offense, which, though they haven't put up a ton of points, has put together some long drives, especially here in the second half, that's allowed this defense to be fresh, to face the Bombers in that pounding ground attack.
Will start in Hamilton territory. A yard inside. Nichols hums it. Completed pass to Darvin Adams, a yard shy of the first down. 6 minutes and counting. Nichols will give way to Chris Strevler. Back up. Comes in for short yardage. South Dakota began the season as the starter. Nichols was hurt. Strevler's going to carry himself. Looks like he gets the first down. So important, he ate up another 30 seconds on the clock.
Well, this is the key. They're in ball control, clock management time here, trying to eat it up. A well-executed sneak, and that'll bring Nichols and the regular O back into the ball game. Just over 5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter with the Bombers looking to add to a 3-point lead.
Harris cutting back, nowhere to go. Stop for a loss, it looks like, maybe a yard. Almost 2, second and 12 yards here. Again, Justin Medlock, this would be in his range if they got stopped here. Remember, he missed earlier. This one would be about a 52-yarder. Nichols, though, was thinking first down and more. Clock ticking down to 4 minutes. There's a hitch to Dembski, trying to cut outside, and Nick Dembski back inside. Knocked down near that first down marker, and so probably, depending on the spot, looks like it's going to be close to a yard away from a first down, a full yard here.
Regardless, you're going to be close enough that'll bring on the short yardage team. So they look to eat up a little bit more time and move those chains once again.
Those chains and almost move this clock down to the 3-minute warning and almost automatic time for Medlock. Weston Dressler hasn't been part of that offense this series, but of course he's the holder for Medlock, need be. Key third down. Strebler gets it. Ticking down to the 3-minute warning.
Yeah, good drive put together here by the Bombers, including a couple of big third down conversions by Strebler in the short yardage unit.
3 minutes to go. Toss up here in Winnipeg. Bombers in control, lead by 3. Week 9 concludes tomorrow. Johnny Manziel humbled by the Cats last week in Ottawa, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, in 4K. Needing a bounce back, Johnny Manziel, and of course was the backup behind Jeremiah Masoli to start the season. Masoli trying to get back on the field here. Trying to lead his team to victory. Right now it's Matt Nichols' ball, Bomber ball, 1st and 10. Andrew Harris, likely going to see a lot of football here. Nowhere to go.
Well, it's been a conservative drive for Winnipeg so far. You saw last time they got to 2nd down. They went to that hitch screen, a high percentage throw, and it was largely up to Nick Dembski to fight for the yardage to create that 3rd and short situation on which they converted. But don't expect a lot of gambling here, as at the very least they want to also protect field position.
They have Harris at the bottom of your screen. Now he cuts over the middle. Trying to cut back now is Peterman. What a play by the rookie at a perfect time. Biggest catch as a CFL pro for a 1st down.
Great execution. Quick hitter, high percentage throw out to the flat. Mac guy versus Mac guy, and Peterman gets the best of Michael Daly on this one.
Mac on Mac. Down to 2 minutes. Cats need a hold. Harris again sets up another 2nd down. See how the Cats manage the clock here. One of the biggest plays of this ball game right here. The legend Jerry Glanville. 9th play of this drive. Clock chewing. And lead the Bombers to victory. 2nd and 7. Nichols goes through his reads and now throws it to the sideline.
Again, this is a veteran move by Matt Nichols. He's frustrated, but he's not going to take any chances.
There was a late flag here. Might be a grounding call.
Intentional grounding.
It is.
Winnipeg. Point of foul. 3rd down.
So this moves it further back for Medlock. Would have been a chip shot.
We'll take a look. You see the line of scrimmage is the 15-yard line. Nichols, as he looks for the throwaway here, recognizing he's in trouble, That's a close one.
Michael O'Shea discussing it with the officials. So the kick for Medlock, who missed earlier on a long one from near the 54-yard line. This is going to come from the 33 with Dressler to hold. Force Hamilton to score a touchdown. Kick is good. Clutch Medlock. 29-23, and now the 82-second offense for Jeremiah Masoli.
I mean, this is where quarterbacks' reputations are made in this league. Opportunities like this.
Hasn't had many opportunities for the fourth quarter comeback drives. Taking over last year as a starter. You know, you put those quarterback pants on when you're in high school or as a young kid, stuff you dream of.
You know, and it's an interesting situation as you know, you sort of watch how the Tiger Cats line up. All night tonight, they've had their two Canadian running backs, Mercer Timmis, Sean Thomas Erlington, as their deep guys on kickoff return. You wonder in a situation like this why they maybe wouldn't think about throwing when you've got Brandon Banks and Chris Williams on your sideline, why you wouldn't maybe take a shot and put those guys back there. Just a thought.
Two Nationals are back. Medlock will kick. Cats need a touchdown. Thomas Erlington set up the wedge, the wall here. Thomas Erlington plows away, bulldozes his way up near the 45. Well, maybe that's your answer.
Hey, that worked out just fine.
Sean Thomas Erlington, who had his first CFL touchdown last week on a block kick. Thomas Erlington, big return here.
Yeah, this is a young man who's had a nice breakout sophomore season in the Canadian Football League, a late round pick for Hamilton a year ago. Seeing regular action on offense and obviously on special teams, doing a nice job breaking tackles on that one to give his team good field position to start the drive.
Place is deafening now. 41-yard return. Masoli with time, steps up and goes chucking for Chris Williams. That wasn't even close. Williams couldn't cut back to that ball. Good coverage downfield by the Blue Bombers. 3 deep.
A decent protection here, and Williams had that half step to get in behind Kevin Fogg, but you see he kind of throttled down. He's on the outside, ball thrown to the inside. He was going to have a hard time getting to that one regardless.
They're going for the kill shot that time. They need a first down though. There's still loads of time with a minute to go. Penalty flag, likely a hold. There was a whistle. Now that there's a whistle, probably a false start here.
Yeah, procedure going against the Cats. So a tough situation gets a little bit tougher.
Second and even longer.
Procedure. Hamilton, number 52. 5-yard penalty. Means second down.
Hamilton had a good chance to win a couple weeks ago back in the Hammer against Ottawa. Similar situation. Got it down deep and then couldn't finish it off. Place is going nuts right now. They hand it off to Alex Green. With a 1:03 to go, it sets up third down and about 7 yards. Third and ball game.
Play where the Tiger Cats were hoping to catch Winnipeg, dropping everybody deep. Get positive yards, but still a 3rd and long situation. Huge play here.
This is ball game. Cats have to get a first down. Here comes the blitz. There's a penalty flag. And again, movement. Hardly hear the whistles through the din here at Investors Group Field. It is hot, it is loud.
Procedure. Hamilton, number 58. 5-yard penalty, and 2nd down.
We wonder if the noise is a factor for the Ticats in hearing cadence or not.
Correction, 3rd down.
They just went to correct it. It is 3rd down. 3rd again in ball game. 3rd and 12. They've got to get to the Winnipeg 53-yard line. A lot of confusion and a lot of noise. And they'll take a timeout.
Timeout, Hamilton.
What would you do here?
I'd try to get a first down, Rod.
There you go.
Yeah,
that was an interesting play call, the handoff to Alex Green.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of going for the complete key breaker. We've seen teams in the situation do it before. They're playing 3-down football, so they know they're taking 2 shots. You anticipate in that situation that Winnipeg's going to drop everybody off deep, and they're going to be coming hard on the pass rush. That with a draw play, you're going to be able to take advantage, get some positive yards. Just think they needed to get a little more than they got, despite the fact that it was a positive play for them.
Got to get 12 yards without their number 1 receiver, Jalen Saunders. Here we go again. This is it. Here comes the rush. Masoli's going down. There are whistles. The ball was loose. Adam Bighill got to Jeremiah Masoli. Put the finishing touches tonight on Masoli and the Hamilton Tiger Cats. That was all pressure. Adam Bighill comes up huge.
Well, keep an eye on Adam Bighill. He's going to come from depth on the blitz here. The running back, Alex Green, in the backfield does a good job of recognizing it, stepping to him. He goes to cut down Adam Bighill, slow down that bull rush, but Bighill does a tremendous job using his hands to play off it, get low, keep his feet. He stays alive to get to the quarterback and make the play.
Another failed last-minute attempt here for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. See their record fall to 3-5 here. Blue Bombers can run this clock down.
Man. Fight, dog. Good shit, man. Woo.
Hot
night. TV on. What a game, man. What a game.
He did say that. He said it was going to be a good one. It has been a good one here tonight. 2 teams going at it.
A good game and a monster game for Adam Bighill as well. Jeremiah Masoli very nearly bringing his Tiger Cats back. Tremendous second half for him. Great effort from the Cats quarterback. 80 yards on the ground. Go along with over 250 through the air.
Hamilton will have the week off next week. 2 weeks they take on the Eskimos. Solely left to wonder. The Bombers will host Ottawa next week. Ticket down now, and this hot night in Winnipeg, temperatures will cool down later tonight, and his tempers will also cool down here. Teams get ready for week 10. Victory formation for the Blue Bombers. Hard-fought win here tonight in Winnipeg. Had to hang on. to bring on win number 5. Time now for our Nissan Titan Player of the Game, brought to you by Nissan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League.
Well, some strong performances on the defensive side of the ball for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. We mentioned Adam Big Hill, Jackson Jeffcoat was noticeable as well. But tonight it was about finding different ways to get it done with lethal weapon number 1 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Andrew Harris. Not a 100-yard game on the ground, but if he couldn't get it done on the ground, he found ways to get it done through the air. Terrific in pass protection as always, and Andrew Harris is tonight's Nissan Titan Player of the Game.
How about that defense as well? Little scuffle at the end of this ball game. Makes way for handshakes now. Slugfest here tonight defensively, and that Bomber D does the job. Final minute. Week 9 concludes tomorrow. Manziel and the Alouettes. It's the Ottawa Red Blacks. Final here tonight, Winnipeg 29, Hamilton 23. Good night from Winnipeg. Sports Center on its way.